Okay, so welcome to the class. We will have more people joining us, but it's a regular routine. So let me introduce myself. My name is Anna Romanenko. I was born and raised in Russia, moved to US about like almost 19 years ago. So it's my home. So since then I live in Washington State in Seattle area. So today, I'm not a professional psychologist. So if you're looking for art therapy per se, it's a different modality. This modality that I'm introducing you is for self-care, is for self-help. So you can use it. And it's a very effective and very gentle. So the Neurographica is a method that was developed by a Russian psychologist, Pavel Piskarev. It's only 6 years old, and it's already about over 40 countries already using this method. Most of them are Russian-speaking people, but we are trying to introduce it to the world. And look at us, we already have international group. So I hope it will be even wider spread, because it's a great tool to release your stress and really achieve anything in your life, like how you can see and visualize what you want and what needs to be done. So let's me back a little bit to my introduction. So I'm certified instructor, Neurographica instructor. I'm a static coach, so I use Neurographica to work one-on-one and in groups with people. I practice several energy healings, and I am certified instructor for some of them, so I can teach people how to use energy to heal themselves and others. So if you want to ask any questions about it, please let me know. So I used to be very pragmatic and very logic person. I have 2 master degrees in technical subjects in computer science and economics, and for over 10 years I worked as a senior tax advisor in a big company. So I know everything about numbers, and suddenly 6 years ago something started happening to me, and I tried to find the instruments and tools what can help me to find my peace in life and find who I am really, so to find joy in life. So I went through several like some people can call it spiritual awakening. So I've went through some dramatic experiences in my life, and here I am teaching me how to draw. So, and I'm so happy and so feel joy when I can introduce this instrument to new people, because it's a really great tool. So to come back to Neurographica, it's only 6 years old, so it's still be developing, but there is already, in Russia, there is already Institute Psychology of Creativity. And I am one of the graduate of the school. So I graduated last year. And I am, right now, I'm a mentor and supervisor in the school. So I mentoring other students. It took me 9 months to learn how to become an instructor. And what else? For myself, I use it for over 3 years. And I'll fall in love from the first sight. So that's why I'm a big enthusiast and big optimist about how grateful is this tool. So I will show you. So I do other stuff that I'm wood carver. I do some paintings, and I do sound healing as well. So I really try to find what makes me happy in this life. And I believe that life is just a process. You have to learn how to swim in this process. Okay, so let me come back to the change the camera so we can see here. So let me clean some stuff. So this is area that we are going to draw. So I want to, before we start to draw, I want to introduce you some basic steps, and you can do it with me because we need some practice, those basic steps, before we can do something more complex. So in Neurographica, neuro means brain, what is going on in our head, and graphica, how we can represent it with the simple shapes, with the simple lines. So in Neurographica, there are two very important steps. First, we need to learn what is neuroline is. Neuroline is such a line that does not repeat itself on any step of its way, and it goes where you don't expect it to go. So it's a very interesting, very organic, and very safe line. So there is no straight lines, there is no expectations from the line. It really goes wherever you don't expect. So it's constantly surprise you. So Neurographica is one of the principles of Neurographica, that the drawing should look organic, that it should look natural. So try to draw those narrow lines and see, is it easy for you? Because it's not always easy. Many people are going almost right away in some patterns. They start drawing sinusoids, or their lines are quite straight. So this, and each of this is really representing your personality. So see how you can be free from expectations and go wherever you don't expect. So this is just a practice. So we will do some more. For children or for people who really it's hard for them to break their patterns like sinusoids, I invite to do one simple exercise. And if you have a coin or any round object, or you can use this cup from the marker, and we just start pushing and see how it's moving, because it's rounded, very hard to find the center for us, and it goes. Try different speeds, because if you try it like very fast, it will be most likely straight, but try to do it slow and see where does it move you, where does it guide you. And we always pay attention in Neurographica. It's not just I close my eyes and I just do something. We're bringing something from your subconsciousness on the paper. We're releasing some patterns from your subconsciousness, from your body, and it's helping to harmonize them. Like if you're doing it for years, it may be hidden and it may be recognized for you, not even recognized. The patterns, usually we don't always recognize them. Like they could be really hidden and acting weird sometimes. Okay, so try different ways to draw those narrow lines. And it's, if you have a tension in your shoulders, I invite you to bring the shoulders to your ears as much as possible. And like it's, you will have even more intensifying pressure there, and you drop them. Like you bring them and you drop them several times so you can relax your shoulders a little bit. Because this is really the practice how I can be free from my expectations, from my patterns, from my stress and anxiety. Okay, so next step. So this is doodling we've learned. And it's maybe not, for some it's very easy, for some it could be challenging. So everybody is unique, everybody has a different goals and different skills. So there is no judgment, and it really requires some practice. So next step. So when we have two lines crossing each other, we have an intersection, and each intersection usually have 4 corners. From ancient times, everything that is sharp, everything that is there is corners, there is spikes, there is sharp objects like knives, teeth, claws. We instinctively feel defensive. There is some danger, so we defend ourselves, and we cannot relax. When we defend ourselves, we cannot relax. We cannot let go something. So in Neurographica, one of the principles that everything needs to look safe, that we want to relax our body and our mind. So when we have this intersection, we have these 4 corners, and we want to transform them, those corners, in curves, because circles and soft curves represent harmony and peace and balance. A circle may represent sun, moon. It may represent mother's womb. So we have this different sense. So you see, when we round those corners, everything look different. And you try to do it several times. So be aware of one thing, that some of you repeat, like most of us repeat the same mistakes at the beginning. So when we have, for example, let me find skinny lines, and it doesn't work. I have so skinny lines, and you round those corners. Instead of looking safe, you actually have a very big spike, and it's even scarier. So in this case, I invite you to make stronger each line, to make smooth transition, so the energy in your neurons really moving freely. There is no stagnation, there is no limitation, there is no blockages. So we're really smoothing and creating new connections in your brain. So this is there is a lot of science behind Neurographica. It's recognized as a scientific subject, and it's when we work with hands, and when we see what we're doing and emotionally supported, this is when we involve our mirror neurons in our brain, and we really help to transform these new connections, to create new connections and break old connections as well. So you can practice some roundings on your first drawing where we have so many lines, and we can just, let me see if this will be, okay. Funny thing, 2 days I did not work, and it's already, okay. And we just round those corners. So for roundings, each corner look like a letter V, and we're trying to make it look like U. So we really makes it smooth. We really make it, and if we have 2 corners next to each other, we can do U-turn. We can really unite them. And when we have this rounding of each corner, we creating this connection. Everything become connected. We can move, in energy can move from one line to another. This really looks like roots of a tree or rivers. It's like different streams of water that getting together. And we will have some more steps to do, but this is two basic steps, like when we learn how to draw narrow lines and how we round corners. So when we have, if you notice that wherever we round it already looks safer and look more organized, more more beautiful. Wherever we have safety, we feel relaxed and we feel beauty. The beauty is really our reaction on what we see. So this is, I do it like very fast because I'm just done it like 1,000 times, but for you it may require some practice. Some people may not recognize corners. I work with some different clients, and some of them are children in correction center. And I've noticed that it's very rare, but some of them don't recognize corners because their brain at some point says that, okay, conflicts are okay. Conflicts are my reality, and I don't want to be stressed every time I recognize conflict. And at some point, the brain stopped recognizing them. And when I say that the corner represents conflict, automatically the brain become blind to them. So for it's possible to train you back and show you how to recognize corners and how to transform them in something safe and beautiful. But it's not just, the point is not just start recognizing corners, start recognizing conflicts. The point is how you can recognize and transform it, that it's in your power to transform conflicts in something beautiful, or decide to walk away from it. When we don't recognize our conflicts, we don't really see where we what is the danger for us, and we can, like, for other people it may be obvious, something that oh, of course there are so many symptoms that it will end up bad. But if you don't recognize any conflicts, if you don't recognize any symptoms of conflicts because you are blind to it, you will not be preparing yourself for or walk away from the situations that can end up badly at the end. So, and another thing that you don't recognize when you causing those conflicts, that you are becoming the reason as well. Okay, so we've practiced. So if we have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can type it in the chat. So in chat, you can find two links. I will repeat one more time. The first link is about international group, Neurographica group, that you're welcome to join us and share your drawings, see other tutorials, be part of the community. It's a free group and there is a lot of resources there, so you're welcome. So next one, we are starting a basic certificate, basic user class course. It's a 4 classes, 2 hours each, and the link is below. And if you participant of this class, you are welcome to use the coupon $50 off for the course. Okay, so let's do next step. So when we're talking about Neurographica, it's not just about releasing and feel good during the drawing. The main goal is really how I can initiate changes in my life, how I can permanently create changes and change my patterns of behavior. So it's a very pragmatic course. It's not about just feeling nice or create something beautiful. The goal is how I can be more effective in my life, because stress is causing my distractions and I need to be effective. So I invite you to pick a theme or topic that you really want to change, that you really want to see difference, that you are not satisfied at the current present moment. So pick the topic. You don't have to tell to me, but you need to name it. And I invite you to, on one piece of paper, it will be, again, it's a practicing. So for example, I want to work with my business. Let's see. Did I still want to change it? I want to make it more effective and time management. Okay, and I will set up 2 minutes timer, and we will do some brainstorming. We will need to activate neurons and psychic energy in our body to see what is really doesn't work, what is really want to change. So we have a lot of history around this topic. I believe that you picked the topic that is important for you. And I will set up 2 minutes. You can repeat, we'll write down all words that coming to your mind. They can be repeated. It could be bad or good words. It could be made up words. It could be names of other people. So whatever is coming to your mind, you write it down, and you write it down in the language that is more comfortable for you. If your native language is not English, like mine, write it down in your native language. So should we start? 2 minutes, and it goes. Okay, and you just write down as many words as possible. Okay, so you have your list of words. First of all, what I'm asking you to count how many words you have. If they repeat it, you count each word like a new. I have 36 words. How many do you have? You can type it in chat, or you can 25. Good. The biggest in 28. Good. The biggest I've had was about not. It was one of my students. She wrote about 22. Good. Uh, 54 words. It's a should be very fast writer. So usually mine is about 30 words, 22. So if we have less than 20 words, there is maybe two reasons. So if we have less than 20, 20 and more is beautiful. It means that the subject is very important for you, that you already thinking about it, and it's important. But if it's less than 20, like 10 or 15, it may have two reasons. The first reason is that subject is not important and you just don't really think about it. Another, and it's a more common situation when subject is very important, but the subject is so painful that you are not really allowing yourself to think about it, that you really trying to suppress even any thoughts about it. So next step, look at your words and see what is maybe some words very many times repeated, and you really like, what is this about? Like, why is this so emphasizing this meaning? Another, that some words can strike you, like, why is it even here? Why do I write about my money and my mom appears, or my neighbor appears, or something else, maybe story from your past? So see if there is any connections. It's maybe not obvious connections, but this is your associations related to the topic. Somehow in your subconsciousness, this topic and this word has a direct connection. So just look at this. In next step, what we want, I want you to look inside of you and see how do you feel this word, like how has anything changed in your body? Has anything, maybe it's agitated, maybe you feel anxious, maybe you feel anger. So look inside of you and just observe without any judgment. We just look inside and see what has changed, because we activated your neuron system. We activated and we really see a lot of energy, psychic energy released already, because we brought the topic and what is hidden. So now we are going deeper. We are going to dive in our subconsciousness and we'll bring the patterns that really blocking us from moving forward. So I want you to look inside of you, like see, look, scan your body from toes to head, to top of your head, and start like scooping. We try to like scoop all this energy, all these emotions that already activated in my body. So I put my feet on the ground and I start visualizing how I'm scooping all those emotions and I guiding them to my right hand, to my right arm and hand, so I can express those emotions on paper. So I take a deep inhale and I guide those emotions to my right arm. And I bringing, if it's a lot of emotions, I can do it like several times. So look what I'm doing and you will repeat the same. So I do like big inhale, scoop all these emotions, guide them to my right arm, hand to the tip of my marker, and with exhale, I express it on paper. Yes, I do something like this, like such mess. So I want you to Deep inhale. And with exhale, we express it on paper. Does everyone have a chance to create mess on paper? So this is going to be our drawing later. And I forgot to change my paper, so it will be on this piece of paper. It's okay. So next, this is how much pressure I have inside of my body. This is how much emotions I have in my body related to this topic. It's actually not so bad. Sometimes it could be even worse. And yours, sometimes it's very hard even stop to express this, because it's become almost blacklist. Like some people have so much pressure about some topics when we talk about relationships or when we talk about health. So now I see that in my side, in my body, there is so much corners, there is so much conflicts, inner conflicts, that I want to harmonize, and I start rounding those corners just like we learned before. And I round those corners. If your marker was broken, don't worry about marker. It's good because there was so much pressure inside of you, and you were able to release this anger, anxious, anxiety, this disappointments, blames, sorrows, whatever you're working with. Marker is replaceable. Your health is not. Your soul is not. So it's good that it was some releasing, physical releasing of this pain and stress related to this topic was expressed. And now we round all those corners as I showed you before. For those who joined us later, we have several people joined us later. So if you missed about rounding, we were talking about that every corner represents conflicts, some arguments, some challenges in your life, and circles represent harmony, peace, joy. So when we have two lines crossing each other, we have four corners, and we start rounding each corner. We transform conflicts in smooth transition of energy, in harmony and balance, and we just keep rounding. And whatever does not belong to the surroundings, we color. So we have this, it looks like a neural nodes in our brain. So we're really working with plasticity of our brain. We're really creating new connections, and the energy can move freely from one line to another. There is no obstacle. There is a beautiful connection of all energies in our body, in our mind. So pay attention. How do you feel? In Neurographica, the most important is the process that is going on inside of you. The drawing is just a presentation of your inner process. You are the most important. What you're feeling, what you're thinking, how you body sensations, like pay attention to them, because all of them are information for you. All of them are your reactions to the topic. You don't really have to think constantly about this topic. but you may have some insights and you may have some interesting observations. You may even notice that some parts of your body is really collect all this and stagnated energies related to this topic. And it could be discomfort. It could be sometimes we can feel even headache during the drawing because we really bringing something very hidden and very deep from our subconsciousness. Don't give up. Don't try to stop. Just continue rounding all those corners, because when we releasing these corners, when we're rounding all these corners, this is the moment when we really transform this painful experiences, painful stories about this topic in something beautiful and positive. So this is when we're releasing energy. And you will be able to use this energy for finding creative solutions to move forward and in progress with your topic, with your theme. Some topics could be very complex and may require, of course, several drawings, because there is so many different layers of related to this topic. For example, like when we talk about relationships can be very complex. We may start with, okay, so I work with a relationship with my husband, and you may move to next level. I want to work with a relationship with my parents, with my body, with my soul, with my relationship with the earth, connecting to my body and soul together. So it's a different layers of relationships, and all of them are important, and all of them can be causing the same outcome, like some dissatisfaction. So, okay, so I rounded all corners inside of my shape. So this is a figure, I call it. And the next step, what we are going to do, we are going to dissolve this catharsis that we've done, or this figure, in surroundings, in background. So we use narrow lines to connect our figure to edge of the paper. So we not alone in our process. There is other people involved. There is society around us. There is always some opportunities and some other people around us, and we can reach them, ask for help. So all corners that are hanging or like pointing outside, we create these beautiful lines and we round them. So if you have any sharp points inside, you still express this from inside out, and we connect it to the outside. In Neurographica, like this is a pressure, inner pressure inside of you. Like a air balloon, if we have too much pressure inside of us and there is no pressure outside, it's really, a balloon will be exploded at some point, and we need to recognize this pressure outside of us. And pressure can be positive or negative, so it's much easier to find something outside that has a negativity, and we surprisingly we end up with such people.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you have a question?
No, no, not at this time.
Okay. So when we have so much pressure inside of us, it's very uncomfortable to be around relaxed people because we feel like something wrong with us. If I have so much pressure inside of us, it's I'm wrong, not the society is wrong. And we've tried to find the people who has the same pressure, the same energy intensity. And of course, it's easier to find troubles than joy in life. So remember that it's not just we reaching to society, but society may reach us as well. So we can bring some neurolines from outside and they can go across my figure. Enrich it, really makes it more complex, more interesting, gives us more experiences, different experiences, like different lessons. And you can just draw as many lines as you want. Of course, it will create some new corners, but it's okay. It makes us more unusual, more unique, more complex as well. But complexity is not a bad thing. It's really how we can be enriching ourselves. Okay, so I created more corners and I need to round them again. So this is really like a meditation. So I have several students, software engineers, and for them it's very hard to calm down their brain. It's very hard for them to meditate, especially for men. And for with Neurographica, you're still doing some simple action, you're still moving, see some results, like, and at some point your brain is calmed down, you may relax, and you can even feel this then, this point where you're really satisfied with the process. Just enjoy the simplicity of the process. The rounding is really a very simple movement, but it's a very healing movement. We don't really need to do something very complex to heal ourselves. The best we can do, relax. How we can find this peace and relaxation. So we round and we round and we just, so on our course that we are teaching, me and my friend Nat, and we explaining what the meaning of each step and how it's really connected to our subconsciousness. But it's this is introduction class, so I just tell you how you can do it. It's okay if you knows what is really going on in your cell phone, but you still be able to use it. So this exercise called releasing inner constraints really changed my life. Friend of mine showed it to me and I started drawing, and for 2 years I believe that this is all Neurographica is, that this is really what is all about. I was very surprised to find out that you need to learn 9 months to become instructor, because there's so much behind it. You can work with your goals, you can work with your time perception, you can work with your ancestry line. So it's a lot of information, and there is all different symbols that we can learn, like colors are very symbolic, shapes could be different and it's very symbolic as well. And you can really look at your drawing and tell about personality, about some other people without even saying anything. You can recognize a lot about other people from the drawing. I had an experience work with special needs kids in middle school with supervision of a counselor, school counselor. And after the kids did the drawing and left, I was like, we were talking with the counselor and I said like, this person needs to work, like gave some personality back feedback about each child without child, like children already left. So I had a chance to talk with the counselor and she was so surprised that it took me 30 minutes to learn about children what it take years for them to find out the root of the problem. So it could be very effective instrument, but when we're working with different issues, but it's really very pragmatic instrument, and I highly encourage you to use it. I have to warn you, it may become addictive because when you see how it's really changing your life, how it makes you happier, how it makes you relaxed, how it makes you really not be a victim anymore, but initiate positive changes in your life, you will start drawing. Like sometimes I hear so more and more from people that they draw every day and has this beautiful results in their life. Let me close my window. And some of these topics need to have like several drawings. I highly recommend to do this drawing before job interview, before some very stressful experiences for us, where we need to calm down and find the best creative solutions. And this could be very helpful before any important meetings, important phone calls, whatever you need, you can use it. You can even use it during the phone call, like, and it's just helps you to calm down and see all possibilities. When you releasing this stress, you open to use all your resources. You recognize what are your resources. So I have a YouTube channel, so if you want to see more free videos, you can do it there as well. If you find Anna Romanenko or Healing Art, my YouTube channel calls Healing Art. Neurographica, Healing Art. Okay, so pay attention to your body. Do you feel anything changed in your body? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel some resistance? Resistance is okay, and it's many of us, especially at the beginning, are very resistant to this action because like it seems so simple, it seems so silly, like what? I'm just drawing lines, rounding corners. How that really may change my life? Uh, it does. So I encourage you to continue draw those lines because and just allow yourself to experience it. There is nothing really magical. Even it will feel like a magical drawing at some point because you may I had interesting stories from and my own stories about how it's really acting. Like you can start working with the subject of money and you haven't even finished this drawing, but people already signed up for the course and people start bringing your money that borrowed from you like years ago. So it's really working. So one of the funny stories about one of my youngest clients, like 8 years old boy. So his mom brought him to me and said like he wants to be popular in school. Very common desire for kids. And he believed that he needs to be an artist to be popular in school. So he wants to learn how to draw. Can you teach him? And it's like, okay, yes, but we are going to draw Neurographica. And I said, like, imagine that this is your marker is your magic wand. And we are drawing without saying we are drawing a magic spell about how you can become an artist, how you can become more popular in school. And he was like 8 years old boy. He was working 90 minutes on drawing. Like his mom already was like, can we go home? He said like, no, I need to finish this. He was so dedicated. We learned a lot about his personality and talked with his mom about what needs to be paid attention to some of his aspect of his personality later. And but he enjoyed and was very satisfied with his drawing. So we were talking a lot about art and how what needs to be done, like what kind of instrument and tools he needs to acquire to become an artist. And 3 months later, I met his mom. We did only one drawing, so that's all. Schedule never worked together. So, and in 3 months, like his mom approached me and said, like, you know what has happened? And like, oh, he starts taking like art classes, and she's like, no, he never touched any art supply after class, but he is so confident and so easygoing now that he has so many friends in class, and this he skipped this part to become an artist, just be popular in class. Not even popular. Popular is has this aftertaste word, but like be accepted and be relaxed in the class. Feel comfortable along other people. So this is so if you are working with something that is you feel that would be a good outcome, but the main goal is different, you may cut some corners. With children, it's even different because they really believe so much in the process. They they believe that they hold this magic wand that they can use to create this positive reality. It's a very sweet to see how they can be effective in this process. The youngest of my students is 6 years old girl, and she is very enthusiastic about Neurographica. of course, she has different goals. Like one of her goals was to learn how to ride a bike. And it's a beautiful goal for 6 years old child. So this process can be very emotional. So you may feel that sometimes it's really discomfort because we're bringing something very deep and very big out of your subconsciousness. And I invite you to do it without judgment, without expectations. We really don't know how it's going to look because we allow ourselves just observe the process. Process is the most important. We are not attached to the results. And when we very honest in your observations, in your following your intuition, this is you will feel joy and satisfaction at the end. So, but if you will try to make sure that, okay, so yes, I'm working on such a painful experience and I need to make sure that my drawing at the end should look beautiful, you may not have this satisfaction. You need to be very honest to yourself and allow yourself to express maybe darkness that is hidden in your soul because experience is painful. Allow yourself to express this, like to release this pain on the paper. Drawing is a secondary important. It's like nothing is more important than you are, that your soul, that your experience, that your health. So you are important, and I want you to cherish this as much as possible. That drawing is just a drawing. It's just a piece of paper. It may look nice or may look okay or look ugly. It's okay. If you felt much better, if you felt really
Hello.
relaxed, it's most important.
Hello. I have a
Yes.
question. How do you know at what point to use the material, like when you're supposed to use the pencils, when you're supposed to use the markers, when you're supposed to use the crayons? Like, how do you know when to use what?
First of all, you can use all of them whenever you want. Like if you feel like you need softer materials like pastel or crayons, do it. It will be really involving your physical body and sensations in your fingers, and it could be very healing. So I usually with children, with smaller children, we use crayons because they really want to activate their fine motor skills and their fingers to use it. And if you're working with any painful experience that was causing like what happened in your early childhood, do soft pastels, do some soft crayons. I usually use Sharpie, different thickness, like I have chisel tip, I have fine point and ultra fine. I have many color pencils, but you can use highlighters as well. So they are very bright and very easy to work with. If you want like some very fast coloring, it could be fun to try. What else? You really ask yourself what I want to experiment today. So don't limit yourself that, okay, I need to can use this and that. One of my students use watercolors and it's amazing like how it looks. I don't use watercolor because I tried. It's for me, I need to practice more before I can be like be satisfied with results. So try different media, find what works for me. I tried completely different. I tried paint, I tried different brands of color pencils. I tried different markers. I tried crayons, pastel, soft pastel, so many things to try in your life, and maybe you can create your unique style. Like we're talking about expressing yourself. Try different options. Like you don't have to be like somebody else. Like if you want to look bold, if you want to look bright, try markers. I like to have different shadings and different colors. So let me show you some of my drawings, because it's very hard to say what. So these are some of them. So I'll show you. This is about one of those classes that we're working. You can find them on YouTube. So this is when we worked with my perception of my outlook. How do I look? How I can be connected to my higher self and really be happy with to look different than other people. So this, I believe, was one of those classes. This one we worked with timeline. This was about timeline. This one was about being prepared for the eclipse season. How we can really prepare ourselves for something in the future. So this is this, for example, is a drawing of my husband. So he was working with the same exercise. This was his very first drawing. So my father is doing Neurographica. He can do it. Like I cannot say that he is drawing it every day. So no, but he knows how to do it. So this was one of this introduction class. This one we worked with brain and how to activate the inspiration. Like everybody thinks that inspiration cannot be activated. You try this class and you will see. So this one was about this activation of inspiration. We worked with tree of wishes, I think it this way. We worked with some painful experiences, what we want to let go in our life. And I worked with a black on black. And this was about some letting go, some guilt and shame. So this we worked with soul retrieval, how we can collect all the small pieces of your soul. This one was about the same algorithm of releasing inner constraints. This was about releasing inner constraints. And this one was about, I believe this way, this one was about timeline. How you can really highlight your lifetime, not even just a time. So it's a different state of being. So all of those drawings, and I have like right now I have maybe over 1,000 drawings already. So let's back to my drawing. And next step, the fun. We start coloring. So your original figure may be dissolved completely or maybe not. So it's at the beginning it's quite hard to dissolve the catharsis, the original lines, because they have a little bit different specifics, different qualities. So next step, we start coloring. So in Neurographica, when we start coloring, we unite several segments the same color. So we cleaned each segment. Each segment is safe and beautiful and smooth. But now we're making step back and look at the bigger picture, how I can look at bigger shapes and I start uniting them with color. It's a very intuitive process. We are really not looking for very common shapes. We allow ourselves to find something unusual in your drawing, some uniqueness, and beautiful. So yes, it will be very unique because it's only you who draws such beautiful lines. It's only you who very using this particular color. So we don't try to be like anybody else. We don't try to imitate somebody else. And we don't have any judgment. We like really, I invite you to be curious. Okay, so I don't know right now which color will be next. I don't know right now which, how it's going to look at the end. And as you noticed, today, because I messed up with my paper, I don't really need any quality materials to be even able to do it. So I just enjoy to do what, whenever I have a chance, and what kind of materials I have at this moment. And like, for example, personally, I love to have all this big waves of colors, but it's me. You may have completely different experience with colors. So allow yourself to express what is your desire. Maybe it will be bigger segments of colors, or maybe it will be smaller. I still highly recommend you to color at least 2 or 3 colors together. So it's gives you some bigger shapes, because when we're going too deep in details, we're losing the perception to see bigger pictures. And I wanted to show you something very cool and very small. So I have this sticky notes, and sometimes I need to release the stress before meetings. I can do it on a sticky note. And you can do it in black and white, or you can do it with color pencils. It really takes 10 minutes. The size does not matter in this case. Because we always can glue this piece of paper to something bigger and expand it. I do draw sometimes on cards, like when I want to make a specific wish to somebody important to me, I can do this exercise with an intention, with a topic, to create this maybe understanding in communication, or maybe just a beautiful wish that I want to express to this particular person, or gratitude. And it will be very unique present, and it will be so much emotional attachment to this present from me. So I doing it for myself, not for somebody else. I'm doing so I can feel satisfaction from what I've done. So we're trying to change ourselves. We don't do the drawing about like how I can change somebody. You can, somebody can be affected by your drawing, by it's because you are changing. When you're changing your vibrations, you're changing your energy that you're expressing. Like when you're calm and relaxed, everybody around you may start get relaxed. But if you have this inner tension, if you have this suppressed anger, everybody starts resonating with this pain or stress that you are holding. Okay, so I decide to add another color. And I just, so you can make it very bold, you can make it very gentle and very tender drawing. So I have almost all the time I have very intense colors because I have this intensity inside of me. That's I have just like so much energy that I want to share with other people. And but you are different. So, and it's very beautiful that we are different. That's why we have this variety gifts and emotions, and you just be honest to yourself. Look at you, like what do you want? Like, and every emotion, it's like a child. There is no favorite child, or there is no at least it's not good. But it's like you can look at your emotions and accept all of them and see the beauty that they all are powerful, that they all have the reason to be in your life, that they all have this beautiful expression and meant to move you forward, meant to move you in something, they all meant to make you better. Even without anger, we still need anger. We still need sometimes sorrow. It's just like when we try to suppress them, they become bigger and bolder and out of control. But if we can express them, even just on paper, it's already helping us to be healthier and happier. So you bring as many colors as you want. I highly recommend to use at least 3 colors, because colors usually represent emotions. Lines usually represent how we react on, not react, how we participate in any process, like setting goals, communications, thinking, thoughts, whatever represents by process is usually represented by lines. But colors are emotions, and they are very important as well. They actually motivating us much more than our thoughts. We can thinking, but if there is no emotional connection, there is no emotional involvement, there will be no results. Like, we really need to be motivated and emotionally activated to move forward in our life. And of course, if we like have a different motivations, it could be destructive. It doesn't matter what we are thinking. Like, if emotions are triggered, we can it may cause a lot of troubles. Okay, so there is no rules how to make your drawings beautiful. Your drawing will be unique and beautiful because it's just expressing, representing your yourself. And each drawing, there will be no way you can repeat the same drawing. Even if you are going to draw the same topic over and over, you will see the dynamic, how it's changing. Maybe it's at the beginning, you will have a very big and very painful sometimes catharsis, like so much pressure, inner pressure that is really causing a lot of resistance. And maybe in 2 or 3 drawings, you will have much more relaxed and you feel like, okay, I don't have any reactions. Like I don't have any, my catharsis is like almost nothing. It's nothing that I want to transform. I felt satisfied. I felt inspired, and I have this beautiful experience about what I want to change in my life. So this is a indication that maybe you already released enough your inner pressure, and you may start using different exercises how to really take responsibility and orchestrate what you want in your life. When you have released all these old patterns, what now you want to build up on top of this ground, on top of this soil that is ready to, like, you cleaned everything from weeds. Now what do you want to plant? What do you want to grow? And in this case, this tree of wishes is very helpful exercise, or something else. But I highly recommend to start any big topics with this exercise, because it's really helps you to release those outdated patterns, to release those outdated programs. You may add more lines at any time of your during the drawing, so it's really there is no rules, and we will actually add some more lines at the almost at the end after we color everything, because we need to make sure that my existence in this world has a bigger purpose, and I want to be aligned with the universe, or if you religious, or if you believe in God, I call it, if you want to be aligned with the divine purpose as well. Okay, so I have this beautiful movements of, and those colors can be integrated, they can be blended together. So see, how do you feel? Like if you blend colors a lot, it's another representation of your personality. And at the end of this class, if you're interested, you can show your drawings and see if I can give you some feedback about your personality, and you will see if I'm accurate about it or not. It's an upper invitation, but it's not you have to do it. It's Or you're welcome to share your drawings in our group, Neurographica group. Me or another teacher will give you some feedbacks. And it's so inspiring when you can see somebody else's drawings and so how they use different media and how they use a different so like find different solutions and how everybody is unique and beautiful. It's really inspiring. I don't know, I love to see somebody else drawings because it's such an opportunity to expand yourself when you look at somebody and you understand that you are part of this beautiful community. It's still be part of your beautiful. There are so many beautiful, talented people, and you are just one of them. It's inspiring, and it gives me a lot of hopes and inspirations. Okay. If you are going to post your drawings on Instagram, you can tag me as well. I'm Anna.Romanenko78, I think. So how everybody's feeling? So I know some of our students are already coming back, which is I'm very grateful. It means that you find it very helpful. About more than half an hour. So if you have difficulties to choose colors, we have a beautiful short tutorial in the group, so you can find about this, how to free yourself from this dilemma and challenges, how to choose, how to make sure that you choose the right color. So I believe it could be very freeing and interesting experience for you. I'm almost done with my coloring, and we still have a couple more steps. They're not very complex steps, but I want to express this line. You can use a different color Sharpie or draw lines with pencil. So there is no really need to be always black. Sometimes I use different colors. For teaching, I usually prefer black because it's easier to see. But On my drawings, I have sometimes various of different colors. Okay, so what should we think of these colors to be? No, you don't have to be really. Don't worry about which color you're using. Try to really be attuned and see which one is wants to be on your paper, which wants to express this. And even when I give you the feedback, it's optional. The feedback really doesn't give you any bigger experiences. It may give you some clues like pay attention to this pattern or this situation, and maybe give you some advice like how you can invite more support and resources from outside. But it's optional. What is more important is what is going on inside of you. And if you feel energy movement or emotional movement related to this color, you can, first of all, you may see and ask yourself, what kind of associations I have with this color? How does this color makes me feel? How do I like it, or do I feel relaxed around this color or not? So this is but again, sometimes I start coloring and like, okay, so here should be, let's say, red color, and it's for me, it's maybe, I know the interpretations, it's just maybe anger, it's maybe energy, it's maybe some very joy, like it can be joy as well. And it's there is so many meanings under each color, and the only concern that I have when some colors try like on your drawings are suppressed. In this case, it has in most cases some emotions that once going stagnated. And when emotion is stagnated, we have situation with poisoning emotion. It's like a water, emotions like water. If they don't move, they become a swamp. They become poisoning water. And it's very important to let be expressed and accepted all of those emotions. So, for example, just recently I was doing a class about Ho'oponopono, and I had so much red, like the whole flow of red was going on from one corner to another. Let's see if I have this drawing. Yeah, here it is. You see, there's so much red going on. And I have like, and it was like, wow, it's a lot of red. And it's actually, it's interesting. The meaning of this red came to me later, that it's a bloodstream that connecting my father ancestry line and my mother ancestry line. And I am just on the stream, like I'm just part of this blood bloodline that is really connected. Everything is connected. Everything has a blood relationship, and it's a beautiful relationship. What to think while we color? You really don't need to think about anything. Like, don't force any thinking. Like, try to observe what is coming. If nothing is coming, maybe you need to slow down your thinking process. Like try to concentrate on the creativity process, how observing how you coloring, like do you feel how that resonates in your body, what kind of emotions, like pay attention to them and then see if anything is coming to you, if any ideas, this is important, this is what you're paying attention. But don't force anything that like, oh, I need to think about something important right now. No, you don't have to think about it. And it's actually will be much more healing for you if you can be quiet. Your mind can be quiet for at least for a little bit. Okay, so next step. So I did coloring. So next step, as I already mentioned before, we want to invite this alignment with the universe. We want to be part of the bigger, more beautiful and more powerful energies that can be very healing for us. Like they can give us a sense of direction, they can give us support, and they are not just external energies, they are really going through us, they really going through this. If we are talking about the divinity, we are activating this divinity inside of us. So I use a bolder Sharpie. You can use the same as you did, just do it several times to make it more noticeable. And I just follow this line. Sometimes lines want to be created, new ones path, like that's something that it's not enough line right now to express it, and I can just, yeah, this is going completely different direction. Lines can be crossing each other, they can go different, they can divide, they can merge, so they usually don't cross like 90 degrees, so but it's but there is some crossing possible. And I want to this one. And you may notice how much bolder they are, and like, oh, I ruined my drawing, everything is messy now. Don't panic. We have a beautiful instrument, and it's called rounding. So we now everything seems bold and foreign on your drawing because it's not integrated with the rest of your drawing. So we start rounding all those corners that there's much bolder lines causing, like all this conflict that this alignment may cause, because if you are not following your divine plan, let's call, or your bigger plan of life, universe can be quite ruthless, and it's really start forcing you to like take action, change your life, make sure that you are on the right path. So we want to be guided, we don't want to be forced, and this is why we're integrating. So everything that we receive messages from the universe, we will have it in gentle way, that we are not forced to make huge changes in our life. We want everything be smooth, and we want everything be comfortable or safe for us. So let's round all these corners that it's causing, and see how this drawing starts feel more comfortable, even with this beautiful bold lines. Like bold lines really give you the sense of direction. Everything is moving. and you find like which direction you want to do. So I want you to really trust your intuition and see where those lines are going. You may use the same color, or sometimes we use a different color. But when we have a different color for the field lines, those bolder lines, you can call them field lines, or you can call them universal lines. If you make them different colors, it will be much harder to integrate them. So it may require some skills and time. But if you do the same color as the rest of your lines, it will be much easier. So I really keep using mostly black ones. I used a different marker before, but it's it's very hard to satisfy the integration with the different colors. It's not, let's say, not very, it's harder, yes, and it's just requires much more time. So I'm lately I draw so much, like I draw almost every day in different exercises, because I'm teaching sometimes several classes a day, and it's sometimes I'm like, what should I draw today? What is my topic? So there is always something that you want to change, something that you want to harmonize. So last year, it's within last year, I'm like really drawing almost every day. I did not draw yesterday. Yesterday I had a different experiences. Okay. So how do you feel about this? Be part of a bigger energies, be part of a bigger alignment. Does it make you feel supported? Does it make you feel guided? We have, like honestly, as a teacher, most of my questions are about field lines, like do we have to draw them? How to draw them? How many? For such size, we usually use 2 or 3 lines. It's usually enough. And if you want, you can add more lines. Like in Neurographica, the quality of the drawing is really presented by how many lines you have on your drawing, because each line creates connections, and each connections really represent how many neuron connections we have in our head, how much more connections we created in our brain related to this topic, how much more energy we released, like psychic energy we released during this drawing. So okay, we're almost done with the drawing. So I have already lines, I have colored, and one is a very important step. Look at your drawing and see what you really, maybe there is some element that is bringing your attention. Maybe you want to highlight this element. It could be a shape, or it could be part of the shape that you already have on your drawing. So for example, I have this beautiful curve that I want to just continue and finish the circle. I already used this curve that was here. I could use a curve and do the circle here or here, but my attention was here, and I decided to complete this shape. Of course, it's created new corners, and I just round them to make sure that everything is smooth, everything is harmonious. And this circle, you can, as I said, the circles represent harmony, represent resources, it's help, gifts, joy, everything good and safe represented by circle, because circles don't have any corners and it's considered perfect shape, that there is no way you can make more beautiful or more round circle. Like if it's not perfectly round on your drawing, it's okay, because we are not machines, we are not robots. We can draw any organic shapes, and just like a little bit crooked circle is actually a good sign that you are organic. And we start, I want to highlight, I can make it bolder line so I can see it better, the circle, or usually I prefer to do some highlighting and make it like a 3D effect, and I just shading around to make it more noticeable. So when I look at my drawing tomorrow or maybe today later, I will recognize that this circle, this harmony, this piece is important to me on my drawing. This is an anchor. So in NLP, they use this terminology anchor. So we have this anchor on our drawing as well. So this is called fixation when we highlight something. Okay, so you see this, and you can make it even bolder. So I use sometimes even black color to make it outline even more noticeable, more standing out from this whole drawing. But you can use, instead of making it a 3D effect, you can make it just bolder. I sometimes have very bright drawings, very energized drawings. See if I have one of my, yeah, like this is really fire. So this was about another drawing about preparation for solar eclipse, for how to use these big energies, what to plan for this big energies. Okay, so I highlighted and I made bolder my drawing, and I want actually make it bolder this line. So if you have a challenge that your markers don't really draw on top of the colored pencils, you can do the filled lines with a pencil, because pencil on pencil are easier to blend, and be easier to integrate. So it could be an option as well. Okay, so my drawing is done. And my very important step right now to look inside of me and see what has changed. Do I have any, do I still have this restless mind about my topic, or do I find some maybe beautiful solutions, or maybe I found some inspiration, or maybe I just calm down and this is enough for me, that everything is moving, so everything is going the way it's supposed to go. And how is your relationship to the topic has changed? Like it's really what is important. And if you would draw next drawing, would you be the same topic? Do you feel like this is already you count enough to find the solution, or you need another drawing about the same topic? So, or something different. So just observe what has changed inside of you. How's your emotional state? How's your physical? How's your body? Do you feel this movement of energies inside of your body? Did you how do you feel about yourself? Like what has changed? So because we the point is we really need to acknowledge all the small shifts inside of you. Like if there is any satisfaction or any inspirations, they sometimes it could be very profound and big experiences, but the beauty is in gentleness. The beauty could be very inspiration could be very small shift that may start the big process. Like the small energies can be very powerful and very supporting. So we not necessarily need to like go and make a big solution or make a big decisions. I invite you to notice what's small, what may be fragile. It's just a hint of solution, but how you can be related to it, how you can use it. So find find what has happened. And if you're interested and if you have your drawing, you can share with me, like turn on your camera, show your drawing, and maybe I can give you some feedbacks. I have to warn you, I'm still be human. Even I trained to see, but it still be my opinion about your drawing. Your opinion about your drawing and about your processes are most important, and this is no questions. Like there's you trust yourself more than anybody. Okay, Dipra, do you want to share?
Hi, yeah, give me a second.
Wait, where did I? Okay, welcome back.
So this is what I made.
Okay, so did you use paint?
No, I used pencil colors like last
It's
time.
just pencil because it's such a gentle blending between those colors. It looks like a watercolors to me. Okay, so let's see. So first of all, I actually see different two shapes, like two bold shapes. One is almost like a bean, another is a circle, and I see that circle is highlighted. But like in your solutions, pay attention that could be something bigger solution that you are not aware of it. So pay attention that the lines, these field lines, they are going in circles inside of you, but you really don't allow yourself to be connected to the world. So the field lines are going through you, but they coming from inside and they going outside. So don't make sure that like all this big energy is just boiling inside of you without any releasing. It could be overwhelming. Even just body can be overwhelmed and tired from this big energy. So allow them smoothly moving, like water is washing you, like from inside and outside, like a shower. So it going from you, from outside, inspiring you and going outside. I love how gentle the drawing, and as I mentioned, like last drawing is a little bit different because there is a less conflict between bold lines and gentleness of this color. So I see this inner pressure and this boldness of your thinking and maybe talking to people is released. Like I see huge progress, and I love how gentle our colors, like really. And I don't see much stagnation. Like we have a quite big red circle inside, like not red circle, red segment, but it's big, and it's not. There is no feeling that it's suppressed. There is a lot of room. So if you have any energies that needs to be released, first of all, connect with these field lines. They will give you the sense of direction and sense of connections to a bigger purpose in life. And like what I like the most from this field line, that it gives me the direction, that I'm like not just moving. And see like this a circle that you highlighted, but if you step aside and look, that there is a huge circle around it, it's needs just be a little bit completed. But when you have the solution for this topic that you're working on, that there is always bigger possibilities, that don't constrain yourself, don't limit yourself in something smaller when you can have a much bigger picture.
Yeah, I was
Bigger
like
opportunity.
focusing on the topic of health, and I did see that bigger circle. I just didn't do it. I'm like, no, I'll focus on the small one.
Okay, and it's maybe it's a very good that you right now concentrated on something smaller, but just see that like there is a bigger possibility for me. There is more options, there is more opportunities that when I will be healed at this point, I can go even bigger. Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing. I love that how gentle it is. Okay, so if anyone wants to share your drawing, we are welcome.
How do you share?
So you have a turn on the camera and you just show your drawing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. I look at yours. Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, Claire. So first of all, I want to tell, like, you are very smart. You see how much yellow around? It represents intellect. Yellow color is an earth element, and it represents consciousness, and usually it represents intellect. And with your huge intellect, you try to suppress the vulnerability and gentleness inside of you. Because how you're sensitive and gentle and tender and beautiful with your pink, but it's your mind is like just no, it's not time to show your vulnerability. It's not time to be gentle. So allow this gentleness be expressed. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to look like somebody else. Try to be like express your honest what is going on inside of you. It's not necessary you just like start be like crying baby all the time. It's not about gentleness. But if you allow this yellow pink color be expressed along this, like you can do some shading with pink color along this yellow.
Okay.
Like just blend those colors. It will be inspiring your mind and find not direct, maybe not like man mind, but how really like how to still be feminine and smart. Because mind are very pragmatic, and it's very rarely they have this taste of gentleness, taste of inspiration. So if you blend those qualities, because they're dominating in your life, you're very feminine and you're very smart. How to be femininely smart. So this is a very interesting. I love your boldness of lines. And this, it's interesting, like this yellow, darker yellow on the side is like almost like a rupor, like you're trying to say something out loud to the, I don't know, to the world. Something is wants to be said. Which shape did you highlight it? It's not obvious to me.
Which, what, the shape was this, this bit here.
Or this oval, this yellow oval. So yes, it looks like you see like this. It's almost it's like you're trying to say something in a out loud. Like it's almost like some idea that you want to loudly express, like a trumpet or some. It's like looks like a brass trumpet. Yes, it's really what it reminds me of. See what kind of associations you have, and you see that this oval that you highlighted is actually part of a bigger circle. That it's whatever you're saying, like you just need to finish. The circle can go beyond the paper. It's just big. Like you can.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you
like,
see it. So you can even complete the circle to make sure that the message that you deliver to other people is in its best positive intention, and it's a best positive resourceful ability. So there's like people receive a gentler, like that it will be accepted somehow. Whatever you want to deliver to the world. It could be idea, it could be product, it could be just self-expression. Yeah. So very, very gentle. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for. Where are you from? From which place?
England, Manchester.
Okay. Say hi to England. Been there, not in your city, but I've been there. Does anyone else too want to share your drawings? Okay. Okay. Okay, you see the different person, completely different colors, different movements. So it's interesting how it's really working. So let me see. So I love how bold your lines are. It's a very, like you're very generous. Like if you need, you feel like you need help from the divine, you ask for the help. There is nothing really questioning about it. So I love how they still be very gentle. It's mostly two colors. What I see is a gentle pink and green. So the green is actually, in ancient Chinese traditions, pink is just a gentle version of red, and it represents energies and it represents gentleness as well. And green represents curiosity and action. So you most likely are a very active person, or like, and you're curious about many things. And it's the same time, it's represent as a kindness as well. So green is feeding red or pink. So green is a curiosity, but red is already interest. And you may be just building up some of the interest that you want to be focused on. It's a more like interest is already something that you're investing your energy in. So it's interesting how your lines are going like very curves, like you really you're not trying to be very direct in approaching things. You can be going round and round around some subjects. So and pay attention that if you're going too much in rounds, you can go in loops, and you need to stop and find which point you enter it in loop, because the enter is always an exit, and you exit from the loop and just go forward, because you can be lost in this round and rounds. It's so it's a different. It's interesting how it's a different, looking different. Which I see heart. Yeah, I see heart. I see beautiful heart, and it's again, look that there is a lot of other small circles here on your drawing, and it's and many loops. So be aware of these loops. And if you can you move a little bit so I can see the side? Okay. So is it your left side? Where you have almost no lines, like the heart is in the left corner? Yes. Is it your left or your right?
My right.
Your right. Okay. Yeah. So notice how few lines there are on the right side. And especially when there is a heart in this corner, you need to pay attention to your relationship with your father. Because a relationship with your father really it's one of the biggest relationship in our lives, our mothers and fathers, and it will be projected how we relate to other people, and especially men. So just to train your brain how to be connected more to those energies. Like sometimes it could be very challenging relationships, but you're doing it not for another person, you're doing it for yourself. You can bring more lines and to the edge on your right side. Just trade, like, okay, let's draw a line and see how I can be connected to this energy, how I can be connected to the ancestry line from my father's side, how I can be connected to the man in general. So this is a very important. So you see how you can be connected to other side, but the right side somehow is lacking. So just something to be paying attention. Beautiful heart, very symmetrical, very balanced, and very gentle. So I'm glad that it's there. Thank you. Where are you from? From which part?
Kerry in Ireland.
Okay, welcome. Love Ireland. Been there like 2 years ago.
Did you like it?
Yeah, well, like it's interesting. Like we travel a lot. We traveled almost around the whole world. Ireland is one of our favorite places. We traveled mostly about North Ireland. The green is very green there.
Yeah.
Very peaceful place. We have like the whole family. I have two sons, and we all agreed that we want to come back there and go around Ireland in general. Different from Scotland. Somehow it's so neighbors, and like so different energies from Scotland. Okay, does anyone want to share their drawings? We already behind 2 hours. So if you want to share your drawings, if you want to hear my feedbacks on them, welcome to the group. Like I already placed all the link to the group and the course on top of the chat, so you can use them. Let me just copy one more time. So because we are quite active with posting all this information and all this links and tutorials about Neurographica. So if you want, okay, so the first one was about the course that is starting on July 3rd. And the next is, did I, again, wait. How to make sure that it's the right link is, let me see, like, let me do it differently. I'm not okay, here it is. So everyone is welcome. So everyone is, I believe we will have benefits for everyone who wants to join to Neurographica group. So if you don't feel comfortable to share your drawings and see the feedback in such an open format, like on the live stream, you can email it to me or find me on Facebook and just send me a message. Let me share with you my email and I will give it feedback to you privately if anything needs to be said. So thanks a lot for for coming, for your interest. I hope it will be beneficial for you, so that that you learn something new about yourself, and it's really very good tool to release your stress, to find simple, creative solutions for very old problems. So don't underestimate it, because it's so simple and colorful, and like most of us had fun, but it really can be transforming your life like it did for me. So I hope to see you on my other classes or in the group. Have a great day. Have a good night for those who are on other sides of the world, and have my gratitude and my love to you. So thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.